What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in the world of the left, the world that they live in, the people that get all their news from MSNBC and NBC and CNN and all these places, they live in a totally different world than everybody else. Or at least, I will say, the people that buy in to the lines, to the lies from MSNBC, they live in this deranged world where they think Donald Trump is Hitler and he's gonna just destroy the country and all this other garbage. They haven't been living in reality. They haven't been getting news, actual news. They've been getting this fake news garbage that MSNBC feeds to them on a silver platter, that it's just what they want to hear so they can stay scared in their little bubble. That's all that is. And this isn't just people off in the fringe, right? Just average everyday Americans. Some of these people are judges, as a matter of fact. And I've got an article for you guys here today that shows this to be true. Check this out, y'all. U.S. Appeals Court judge rescinds retirement after Trump's win. Yes, so he's like, oh no, I'm scared. Trump's going to put in a Trump-appointed judge. We can't allow for that to happen. So he's canceling his retirement so he can stay on the bench until we get another president for 4 more years. This is absurd, but this is the world that these people live in. Hey, y'all, do me a favor right quick. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here, and share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. I'm sorry I had to get that out of the way, but these people live in a delusion dream world, if you will. They buy into the MSNBC propaganda, because that's all it is propaganda. You go listen to these people, and it's totally divorced from reality. That is right, but let's get into this thing right quick. Check it out, y'all. A U.S. Appeals Court judge has taken the rare step of revoking his decision to retire from active service on the bench, depriving Republican President-elect Donald Trump of the ability to fill a judicial vacancy. Right? This is something I discuss constantly. This is why the Senate is important. This is why voting for your senator is important. And this is why when you get a president like Joe Biden, it's disastrous for the judiciary system in this country, because Joe Biden ran as a moderate. He ran as somebody, oh, I'm not insane. I'm just a normal politician. But he comes in, takes a hard left, and starts appointing activists to the bench. We've covered several of these judicial nominee hearings where, Republicans, bringing up all this dirt, which is a kind of a garbage process, to be honest with you. But in some cases, it's a good thing, because they're bringing up their actual record. It's not just some allegation of something, right? Not like the Democrats do, because that's all they've got when they bring up stuff. Just look at what's going on with Pete Hegseth. That's all you got to look at. Matt Gaetz, too, when he was in the running for the job, right? But Pete Hegseth, it's always some allegation, right? Blah, 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 blah. But you go look at some of these judicial nominee hearings, right? Republicans, they bring up the voting record. Groups, activist groups that these people are aligned with. So you can see that these people are just far left extreme activists, and that's how they're going to sit on the bench. This is very important, right? Because laws that are written up, if they get challenged in the court system, they have to go through these judges. So you can have some insane law come down the pipeline, right? And all the Democrats vote for it, and it gets challenged, and it goes to one of these activists. They're going to pass some insanity because they're an activist, and that's what they want. It's insane. That's why we need normal people. But that's why they're scared. Oh, I'm going to stay on the bench. I'm going to cancel my retirement. But this is why the Senate is so important, because they can block these activists from being put on the circuit, right? These people are very important. And it's not just laws. It's all kinds of stuff, right? You get some insane nut job that wants to transition his kid or something, and it goes to court to challenge it. Right? We need somebody who's going to be fair and balanced and is going to judge the case based upon the law, not based upon their emotions. And that's what a lot of these activists, they are run totally by emotions. They wake up in the morning, go to their emotion pot pour in the water and get a cup of emotion and drink it. And that's how they view life, through the lens of emotion. And that's not what we need. We need emotionless, fact-based, blind justice, because that's what our justice system is supposed to be. Right? That's why I can't stand when all these people say, "Oh, we have a conservative majority on the Supreme Court." Well, that shouldn't matter, right? I know it does, and I know that's a fact of reality. Everybody has a bias. I have mine. You have yours. MSNBC has theirs. They definitely have their bias, but somebody like a judge, if it's somebody who has a little bit of integrity, they're going to try to ignore their bias and make rulings based upon law, based upon what is right under the law of the United States. Right? That's why I can't stand, we got 3 liberal justices and 6 conservative justices. Well, they're not supposed to be liberal or conservative. They're just supposed to rule based upon the law and what is legal in this country. Right? But they don't do that. They can't do that, especially the liberal justices, right? We've seen some ranting diatribes coming from Sotomayor, like just some insanity, like when the presidential immunity ruling came down the pipeline. I read her opinion on that, and it was insane. It was outright insane. Like, she literally wrote, she was writing, talking about different situations that could be, Trump could be put in or whatever. And she specifically mentioned Trump. She was like, immune, blah, 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 immune, blah, 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 immune. And then she literally wrote out immune, 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 immune after all of that. Like, really? That's not an opinion from a Supreme Court justice. That's the ranting ravings of a lunatic. And they got put on the Supreme Court circuit. A lunatic, an activist. This is why these proceedings are so important to this country. But let's keep going. U.S. Circuit Judge James Wynn, an appointee of Democratic former President Barack Obama on the Richmond, Virginia-based 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, disclosed his decision in a letter to President Joe Biden on Friday. It marked the first time since Trump won the November 5th election that a Democratic-appointed appellate judge has rescinded plans to take senior status, a form of semi-retirement for judges that creates vacancies presidents can fill. 2 trial court judges had similarly done so, prompting complaints by conservatives, including Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who railed about an unprecedented spat of judges unretiring post-election. Republican Senator Tom Tillis, who had fought to prevent Biden's pick to fill Wynn's seat from winning Senate confirmation, said on X that Wynn had engaged in a blatant attempt to turn the judicial retirement system into a partisan game. That's what they're doing, right? They're scared that Donald Trump's going to replace these people with somebody a little bit more conservative, a little bit more down to earth, right? Because liberals live in this dream delusional world that we can just push society as far as fast as we want and everything's going to be fine, right? But, reality has proven otherwise. Just look at the trans rights movement, right? Quote unquote rights. And I say that in quotations because, what under the Constitution should anybody be allowed to have more rights than somebody else? As a matter of fact, that flies in the face of the Constitution under the Civil Rights Act, right? Everybody has equal rights under the law. We're supposed to. So why should a certain group get more rights? That's what they're advocating for, is more rights than everybody else. Because they want the right to do this and this and this. When, now they shouldn't be able to do that because other people can't do that just outright. That's why I don't understand these people. But it's just insane that they would even have the balls to make these arguments. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's keep going. Wynn sent his letter a day after Biden's nominee to succeed him, North Carolina Solicitor General Ryan Park, formally withdrew from consideration after his path to win Senate confirmation vanished. Yeah, it vanished because the senator saw that this guy was an outright activist. Senate Democrats and Republicans post-election cut a deal that cleared the way for votes on about a dozen of Biden's remaining trial court nominees in exchange for not pushing forward with 4 appellate court nominees, including Park. A spokesperson for Democratic Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has said all 4 lack sufficient votes to be confirmed. Now, I wonder why that is. Like, Joe Biden has been pushing nothing but activists onto the circuit. We've had 4 years of straight activism being put on the appellate circuits, on the federal circuits, all of it. That left 4 seats without confirmed nominees that Trump could try to fill upon taking office on January 20th. But 2 vacancies were contingent on 2 Democratic-appointed judges following through on their plans to leave active service. Yeah, and now that's canceled. Those judges, including Wynn, 70, who in January announced plans to take senior status contingent on a successor being confirmed. On Friday, he told Biden he changed his mind because Donald Trump got elected. And we live in this MSNBC propagandized delusional dream world that we think that Donald Trump is evil orange man Hitler incarnate for some reason, and he's going to come in and just destroy everything. It's quite insane, in case you haven't noticed. The Article 3 Project, a group run by Trump ally Mike Davis, announced late Friday it had meanwhile filed judicial misconduct complaints against the 2 trial court judges who likewise rescinded retirement plans post-election. Yes, Mike Davis is a gem. He is good for this country. Judicial Watch. Tom Fenton is good for this country. They are the ones that sued Fani Willis to relinquish control of the correspondence they had with the White House, showing collusion with the White House and the district attorney in Atlanta. Yes, these people are good. These people are very good. And, you know, these judges just coming out of retirement, essentially, to stay on the bench. They're going to have to sit there for 4 years. Right? They're not old. That guy, that they said he's, 70 years old? So that's not really all that old, to be honest with you. Compared to, look at Nancy Pelosi. She's freaking 84 years old. Still a congresswoman, for crying out loud. Mitch McConnell, he's another one. He's like 83. These people, we need to get rid of the gerontocracy in this country, right? Too many old people. There should be an age cap, right? I think, personally, there really should be some sort of cognitive test. Like, an age cap might not cover it. Let me rescind that right quick. Because you've got people like Nancy Pelosi doesn't seem to be all that cognitively impaired, if you will. Not like Joe Biden. So maybe we should have some kind of cognition test, IQ test, something to give to these people to make sure that they're not that old. Honestly, an age cap wouldn't really be that bad idea now that I think about it a little bit more. Because if the retirement age is like 67 or something like that, if you're past retirement age and you still want to get into office or whatever, sometimes in certain instances, I guess it's a good idea that wisdom from that much life is a good thing to have. Advisory roles. Maybe that should be what we do. I don't know. I don't have all the answers to this, but I definitely think a cognitive test for some of these people should be a requirement, as a matter of fact. Should be an absolute requirement. You want to put an age cap on it? Sure, go right ahead. Make it active upon these people leaving office. In other words, anybody that's older than that cap currently can serve out whatever. But I think that if we do something like that, it should be like 75, tops. Boom. Get it done. But You get cognitive tests for anybody else that's below 75. Once they get to that age, cognitive tests. Bam. There we go. Every 2 years. As a matter of fact, right? A lot of people, they always talk about they want term limits for congressmen. Yeah, I don't buy into that. I don't buy into the term limits because that's not the problem, folks. You can have a career politician, still be a good politician, right? Term limits isn't going to fix the lobby interests, the corruption from the lobby interests in Washington, D.C. That corruption is still going to be there because these people, when they go to Congress, they have to, off top, they're in the hole $250,000. They need to get out into the lobby swamp, if you will, and go and fundraise for the RNC or the DNC or the RNCC. They have to raise $250,000 to be in good standing. That's absurd. Outright. I think if we get rid of the lobby interests, most other problems with these ridiculous congressmen voting for $1.8 trillion deficit spending goes like the dodo. It just goes the way of the dinosaur. Just right off the top. Take some of the money out of the politics, and you fix a lot of the politics. That's it. That's it, right? But I think that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Are these judges just playing political games here? Are they living in a delusion world where they think Donald Trump's going to come in and destroy everything and become a dictator? That's what it sounds like to me, because they should retire. They were going to retire, and now they're not going to because they're scared Donald Trump's going to put a sane individual on the circuit. That's what they're scared of. That's what it sounds like to me. Let me know what you think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.